I just landed my first AI automation agency client, and I must say it is the greatest feeling in the world. Best part about everything is there's a chance we can save them over $100,000 with our automation. That's correct, $100,000. In this video, I want to cover everything from how I got this client, the exact script I used. I'm going to show you live footage of an interview I conducted with this client to extract the most valuable information and identify where their pain points are. That being said, Assalamu alaikum, my name is Muri and I've been in the business world since the age of 16. I used to go around to people's houses cleaning and detailing their cars. I actually still have that business until this day. I managed to automate a lot of the systems within that business, and I found myself really enjoying that process. So I thought to myself, why not start an automation business and provide this type of thing to other business owners? It's exactly what I did, and that's exactly what I created this channel for, to teach you guys how to do the same in your own business and maybe for your own client business, and document my journey whilst growing my AI automation agency. If that's something you see value in and you want to follow, make sure you subscribe because I got a lot of great content coming up. You must be thinking, how did I get this first client? As I covered in my previous video, I went in depth on 3 strategies I'm going to use to acquire my first few clients. The same thing I did in my previous business, and I'm also doing the same with this business. So I did the following. I got everyone on my contact list, created a normal conversation with them, right? And eventually I naturally included the fact that I do automations, and I asked them if they know anyone, so let me know. To my surprise, I got an overwhelming response, and quite a few people were interested to hear more about this for their own business. And a lot of them is saying they've heard about AI for the last few months and they've been thinking of how they can include it into their own business. So this is kind of something people are looking for, they just don't know where to go. And the cool thing is, I got a response from many people in many different industries. That being said, I want to draw your attention to one particular response that I think we could provide most value to in the shortest period of time. So here's how the conversation went. I was like, hey brother, long time no see, how's marriage life treating you? So he recently got married, I understand that context, and I'm creating a natural conversation. He obviously responds, yeah, good, blah, blah, blah. We start going back and forth, and eventually we get to a point where he asks me about what I do, what I'm doing now and how everything's going. Then I start talking about my AI automation agency. Then he says, awesome, I'd love to hear more about it. I think my dad's company can benefit from it a lot. Then I was like, awesome, we organize a time and date that works for both of us to have a Zoom meeting. And that's exactly what you're going to see now. However, I want you to take note of the type of questions I ask, how I ask the questions, and how I conduct the interview to extract the most valuable information and really identify their pain points. You just want to keep this as natural as possible. Hey brother, how's it going? Long time no see.
Hey buddy, what's up? What's going on?
Just working away, man. This automation thing is just, it's a lot of work, but it's exciting. You know what I mean?
I've heard a few things, and that's what's led us to here, right?
Yeah, 100%, 100%. Let's get into it. Let's get right into it. I don't want to waste any of your time. I've got a few questions for you, right? First off, do you have any questions for me about like the automations, or do you have no idea what we can do?
Well, obviously I've heard about what you've been doing, and I thought, all right, it could be something that we could implement into my dad's business.
Yeah.
But I wanted to get more information about it to see how relevant it is and how we can make it work.
Yeah,
with what we've got going.
So what I'll do is I'll give you the quick 2-minute breakdown of what we do and how we could potentially help you in your business or your dad's business, right? So essentially we break down all the systems and processes in your business and identify where we can use AI to automate as much as possible, right? So think about certain tasks or things that you do every day that are just mundane and don't require a lot of brain work. But it's like, for example, like a lot of data entry type of thing, copying and pasting from one place to another, right? Those type of things, we can use AI to actually automate it for you. So that's where I see the most value in creating these type of systems for businesses and alleviating the pain and the time from you, your workers, whoever's in charge of that task. Once we identify that, we can break down the problem into sizable chunks, and from there, we'll work on creating a system using AI that can just streamline that whole process for you. Take your subject from hours of work to maybe a few minutes, right? That's the goal here. Is that clear? Do you understand where we're going with that, or do you want more people?
It makes a lot more sense now, because every time I hear AI, the first thing I imagine is a robot. So,
yeah, I get a lot of that. People think you're a hacker, you're some crazy thing, when it's a big misconception. Okay. Cool. What current problems do you think you're running into at the moment? Is there anything that's bothering you, something you do on a daily basis that you think can maybe be automated and that'll require a lot of brain work?
Definitely. So I'll give you a rundown of the business.
Yeah.
Essentially what's going on at the moment, our operations, we're running about 20 to 25 trucks and drivers at the same time.
Yep.
The problem we're currently facing is obviously across that you've got documentation set for each driver and each truck.
Mm-hmm.
On top of that, we're running, we're operating amongst 4 to 5 other companies, each one having their own system. So at the end of the day, we've got 2 people in the office. Our drivers are coming through, they're putting in their documents, they're, doing everything. But the problem we're facing is our office workers, which are our 2 most valuable people, are currently, they're putting in hours and hours every day. We're running behind on invoices, documents are being lost. Drivers are, it's an extra responsibility for them to carry, all that paperwork.
Right.
So essentially, we want something for, the people in the office to simplify everything.
Okay. So you've got like, you mentioned 20 to 25 trucks and employees and drivers working for you at the moment. And how is that managed? What's that data entry looking like at the moment? Are you doing that all by hand? Do you have a system in place?
Well, it's a bit all over the place at the moment.
Okay.
We've got a couple of companies that do it digitally.
Right.
We've got other companies that are, pen to paper.
Yeah.
We're sending photos through. So again, I need something that's kind of will tie everything together into one setting
Mm-hmm.
that we can integrate with each different company, and that kind of makes it easier for the guys in the office.
Okay.
And the drivers as well.
Awesome. Okay, cool. And how much time do you spend on this type of thing at the moment? How much time does it cost you in your business?
Well, in the office, we've got, as I mentioned, we've got 2 in the office.
Right.
They're running at least 6 hours a day.
Can you repeat that? 6
and that's
hours a
pretty
day?
much 6 hours. So
Okay.
again, they're essentially full time.
Right.
But they're not. They can't contribute in any other way except to that paperwork essentially.
Okay, so they're spending so much time on that paperwork that they don't have time to do the more important stuff in the business. Is that correct, or did I mishear that?
Correct.
Okay.
So,
Okay.
for example, I'll give you a bit of an idea on the responsibilities of them.
Mm-hmm.
So you got Mo, who essentially is constantly on the phone, which is, already a problem, because him being on the phone takes time away from him on the computer.
Okay.
Papers.
Is that on the phone managing the workers, managing the drivers?
Managing workers, managing the client managers, because like I mentioned, we're running several different jobs at once.
Okay.
So by the time he comes to have to deal with everything, he's got a massive backlog.
Right.
Sometimes it's days, sometimes it can be as much as weeks.
Mm-hmm.
That in turn means payments are delayed, everything becomes delayed. We need
Right.
something to simplify it.
Okay. So you got 2 people spending anywhere between 6 to 8 hours a day on this type of admin task, and they're repeating the same thing. And you mentioned they're your most valuable workers, right?
Definitely. Without them, the business doesn't run essentially. People don't get paid.
Right.
Jobs don't get put through.
Okay. Interesting. So this is a big problem for you.
100%. And when you're talking 20 to 25 trucks, it's a lot to handle. And
Yeah.
again, keeping them satisfied and making the job easier is important, because losing them, as I mentioned, is losing the business. So we need something to keep them interactive.
Yeah.
And easier essentially. So
Okay.
that way they
Okay.
can contribute to other parts of the
Awesome.
business.
Awesome. All right. Cool. So what time frame are you looking to get this done in? Like, how urgent is this for you?
I mean, essentially as early as possible. I know you've got a bit on your plate, but the sooner this gets out there, the better. That way, I'm aiming before the end of the year, before the new year, to have this system up and running.
Right.
That way we start the new year fresh and better.
Okay. Awesome. All right, cool. So I got what I need for now. Is there any chance I could talk to those 2 office workers and they can run me through exactly what you're doing with your current system? That way I can identify any bottlenecks and where we can actually create something for you that's actually a benefit.
Yeah, they'll, like I said, they're in 5 days a week, so we're free tomorrow. Going to pass through. They'll be available, so.
Okay, awesome. What I'll do is, let's organize a time tomorrow. I'll come past. We'll go through everything. I'll go back to my team and see what we can come up with for you. Sound good?
Sounds good.
Alright, brother. Okay, we're here at the yard to discuss further details on what we're going to actually do for this client and how we're going to automate the whole trucking system. Usually this whole thing is just full of trucks. They're all working at the moment. There's about 20 trucks these guys have. And yeah, I'm excited. First client, let's go. Alrighty, so now we've had a few meetings with the client. We have a greater understanding of all their issues, all their problems. And I must say, I'm surprised they're operating such a big company using the current systems they are now. Everything, like 80% of what they're doing is done on pen and paper. Think about that. They're running a company that deals with 20 to 25 subcontractors as drivers, and everything is done manually. If they want to go from 25 to 40 trucks, that means they have to double the amount of admin work. They have to hire more people and have to make sure they trust them. Because what's happening now is they can only have people they really trust doing that type of admin work, because it directly impacts who gets paid, how much they get paid, and you're dealing with the finances and nothing's tracked. If they want to be dodgy, they can be dodgy, which is why you need someone trustworthy. It gets me thinking, how many other businesses are operating with these type of systems? There's so much potential in the automation space, it's not even funny. So once we create this automation system for the client, it'll alleviate so much pain, so many hours, so many headaches from them. And the best part about it is it'll enable them to grow the business from 20 trucks to 40 trucks and 100 trucks without doubling the amount of work. So once it's created, hopefully we can get the 6 to 8 hours of work done in a few minutes, maybe 10, 20 minutes, worst case half an hour. So that's a goal here. In the next video, I want to cover exactly how we create this automation, the tools we used, the systems we used, and everything you need to create something like this for yourself. Make sure you subscribe so you don't miss out. That's enough from me. Over and out.